All right, Eitan, Fox Bet has the Niners giving the Eagles 7 points. I'm not saying I expect the Eagles to win, but I'm inclined to take the Eagles and the points. Should I?
Scott, let me save you from yourself right now. That's not the play. The Niners -7, a touchdown favorite at home, is not that big for a team who runs a ton of misdirection and a really complex offense. They have one, if not the best backup quarterback in the NFL. We'll get to the other guy in a second. But as far as the Eagles are concerned, there are way too many injuries. More guys were banged up this week than actually practicing, and it's a long trip out west. I wouldn't touch the Eagles. The play is the Niners -7. They're playing grown man football right now. The Eagles, they're not. Oh, and by the way, George Kittle's back. Need I say more? Niners win this game by 10 at least. Stay away from that bet, Scott.
That's why I'm doing this job and you're doing that one. Eitan, Fox Bet lists the Bears as a 2.5-point home dog. The total is 43.5. Where do you see the value in this game?
Actually, the Colts. Now, you're going to have to lay a little more on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app at -118. But the beauty of this is that you can win this bet with a field goal. Colts are only laying 2.5 on the road. I don't know what to make of Nick Foles right now in Chicago, especially going up against the one guy in the NFL who knows him better than anybody, and that's Frank Reich. Yes, Sean's right, where Nick Foles' lone success happened in Philadelphia because of Frank Reich. Now he's going up against Reich. The Colts defense has played well. Even in their Week 1 loss against Jacksonville, they played well. I'm not there yet. But when they win this game and they cover this line, I think me, Sean, maybe even you, Scott, owe Phillip Rivers an apology.
Yeah, possibly. You're right. If you want to look for some winning football teams, guys, don't look in the NFC East. We know that. Eitan, there you hear it. Green Bay, hands down. Green Bay and Chicago both have a 2-game lead over Detroit. So here in early October, where do you see the best value in picking the eventual NFC North Division champs?
The odds-on favorite, clearly Green Bay for a reason. Sean laid that out. I'm not going to go against Aaron Rodgers from a football standpoint, but when you look at everything as a whole, stay away from the Bears. That plus 245 is a trap. And again, I'm here to save everybody from that trap. Minnesota at plus 900 is actually intriguing right now. I still think that Green Bay is the best team. -182, you'd have to play one of these Floyd Mayweather bets to make something back. Minnesota at plus 900, that's a sneaky play on the outside. If they can get things together and Kirk Cousins remembers how to throw a football, Vikings could be in the conversation despite this 0-3 start. So Minnesota is the long play, but if you have the cash, Green Bay is the smart play.
Eitan, an interesting NFL stat here. There have been more points and touchdowns through 3 weeks than any other time in NFL history. The total in this game is 56 points, so I assume you like the over here.
Not so fast. Not only have we seen an increase in scoring and touchdowns in a record pace, but we've also seen the books catch up and the totals catch up specifically. This is one of the highest totals we've seen across the NFL in a long time when it comes to every single game. That's why I take the under here, 56. And I agree with Sean as far as the game script is concerned. 3 of the top 5 players on the field at any given time are running backs in this game, including 2 for Cleveland. They're better off not having Baker Mayfield throw the ball more than 15, 16 times. I could see the Cowboys putting up 30 and maybe the Browns get to about 14, even 17 points. But you know what? That's under 56. Cowboys going to win this game, no problem there. But there isn't going to be as much scoring as you may see. That's why I think the under 56 is the smart play.
I expected a big spread in this matchup, but it was even bigger than I thought it would be. Baltimore is a 13.5-point favorite. Is that too big for your liking or not big enough?
It's crazy because I'm shaking my head in agreement to everything Sean's saying as he's going through that analysis there because it's on the money. But the only thing I would disagree with is the total. It's at 45. Now, granted, beating Washington by 14 points should not be that difficult, but holding Washington to 10 points should actually be easier for the Ravens. They're coming off that difficult loss to the Chiefs. Everybody's looking at them. Maybe they're a little more suspect than people thought. Lamar Jackson and that defense are going to come out and send a message. I would be surprised if Washington gets over 10 points. So, yes, the Ravens are going to run all over Washington and throw all over Washington, but where are the points going to come from Washington? Under 45.
The Rams favored by 12.5 points. So where do you see the best value in this matchup?
Giants are the worst football team in the NFL right now. Washington is really bad, but they're really bad in the second half. At least they can put up a fight. There's no fight to be had by the Giants. 12.5. It's already been bet down a half point on the Fox Bet Sportsbook app. I love the Rams to just throttle the Giants here. I don't know what New York is going to do to score. I don't know how they can keep up. There's nothing better than suffering a really tight, brutal loss like the Rams did against the Bills, than coming right back and taking on the worst team in the NFL. It's like getting dunked on and then just getting the ball, clear out, do whatever you want. Not that I've ever been dunked on, right, Sean?
So you guys are all super high on the NFC East this week. Fox Bet lists them as a 3.5-point road favorite. What number do you like here?
Well, I like the plus 100 even return if I lay that 3.5 with the Bills. And I know the hook might scare some people, but there is insanely good value right there to take the Bills on the road. Buffalo, not only is it Josh Allen, they've got a running game now intact. Stephon Diggs has been godsend there. He's been amazing and really been able to move the ball down the field, not just as a deep threat. And then the Raiders are dealing with issues off the field. They're dealing with injuries on the field, almost as many injuries as the Eagles and Niners. I would stay away from Vegas. I don't think they can keep up. I can't even believe we're saying that about a Buffalo Bills offense, but I don't think the Raiders can keep up with Buffalo's offense. Josh Allen may single-handedly dismantle everything the Raiders have on D.
All right, Eitan, Belichick and the Pats are a big dog here. You haven't heard this often with the Patriots. 6.5 points. Fox Bet lists the total at 52. Where's the best value here?
Pats 6.5. Now, don't worry, Sean. The 16-0 prediction is still intact after this game. I do agree the Chiefs will win this, but 6.5 is a lot to ignore, especially for a team that has now 5 healthy running backs. I'm not even including Cam Newton, who can move the ball really well on the ground as well as now in the air. We've seen Cam really come to form, and I think this will be a big day for Cam throwing the football. Look, the defense has definitely taken a step back when you look at who's not there, but the secondary is still good, and the secondary is still good enough where if you can get to Patrick Mahomes once or twice, that might be enough for a turnover here, and that could decide the game as far as covering. All I need is this thing to cover 6.5 points. I don't need the Patriots to win, which is why I'll roll plus 6.5.
And nobody wants the Patriots to win, right? Okay, let's take a wider view of the AFC. Some of these futures bets are always fun to explore. The Fox Bet lists the Chiefs as the odds-on favorite to repeat as conference champs. I mean, nobody can argue with Sean's philosophy anyway. Where's the best value, though, here, Eitan, in picking the conference champs?
So you have to look, and the difference of what we saw with the NFC North is that the Packers were heavy on minus return, minus 180, 190 up there. When you look at the AFC as a whole, the Chiefs are still getting you a positive return at plus 190. You're nearly at 2-1 to take the odds-on favorite, and I think everybody's favorite, to go on and represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. If you were looking for one other team, I would stay away from Baltimore because we just saw head-to-head what happened. Pittsburgh, I'm just not sold that they can do it. New England won't be able to beat head-to-head Kansas City. There's Buffalo, plus 1,000. They really intrigue me. There's definitely worth some interest and maybe some value for a flyer at plus 1,000, but smart money says if you can get a positive return for Kansas City, you keep pounding that until elsewhere.
So you just bet them both, right?
Well, yeah, why not? You can hedge a little bit.
All right, Eitan Rule and the Panthers are a 3.5-point home dog here. Which side of that line do you like?
Arizona, minus 3.5. Another example here of an even return, plus 100. This all comes down to the quarterbacks. DeAndre Hopkins will always be the tiebreaker, but Kyler Murray right now is showing how special he can be, not only with his legs, but with his arm. And then we have Teddy Bridgewater, only 2 touchdowns this entire early start to the season. He's playing well, but they're not transferring over into scores. That's why the Cardinals are going to win this game convincingly.
All right, Eitan, 2 props here, 1 for each guy. Wentz, 250-plus passing yards and 2 or more touchdowns, or Sanders, 100 or more rushing yards. Are you buying one of those or selling both?
I'm buying Wentz, selling Sanders. Let's just look at Miles Sanders real quick. The game script, how this game will play out. The Eagles will have to be ahead in order for him to hit the century mark. Stay away from that, despite it looking at plus 400. Now, as far as Carson is concerned, 250-plus and 2 TDs. He's going to be throwing a lot. The Eagles will be behind and down big. Carson Wentz, even if it's not deep down the field, you'll see a lot of opportunities to throw the football. 1 to Ertz, 1 to Greg Ward. I'm good.
Eitan, let's stay with you. We typically discuss a bet boost at this point of the show, but we're going to go in a different direction this week. Yeah,
you can bet the Eagles to win risk-free money back as a free bet if they lose, up to $50. So think about this. This is the biggest no-brainer. If there is going to be a major upset with the Philadelphia Eagles, it would be Sunday night. It's a risk-free bet on top of that, up to $50. Why not put some money out there, bet a unit, and see if, in fact, the Eagles can shock the world?
All right, that does it for this week's Props and Locks. A programming note for you. We move to Thursday nights at 7 starting next week. Consider it your appetizer to the feast that is Thursday Night Football on Fox. For Sean Bell and Eitan Shander, I'm Scott Grayson. Thanks for watching.